What's up, everyone? If you're here, you're probably just like me, fascinated by the wildest, most unbelievable things out there. And today, we're about to dive deep into some of the most obscure, mind-bending, and genuinely terrifying substances you've probably never even heard existed. This is just the beginning, so get ready because we're about to get absolutely wild. Number 1, Datura. This drug is one of the only substances on any of these lists that you could literally find growing wild in your backyard. That's right, Datura is a genus of plants, and every single part of it, the leaves, the flowers, the seeds, are packed with incredibly potent deliriant hallucinogens. We're talking scopolamine, atropine, hyoscyamine, and that's where the crazy starts because the concentration of these compounds is wildly unpredictable. One plant might give you a mild buzz, the next could put you in a coma. There is no such thing as a safe dose when it comes to Datura. Now, you've heard of psychedelics that alter your perception, make colors brighter, or give you deep insights. Datura is not that. Datura causes what are known as true deliriant hallucinations. This means you don't just feel like something is real, you genuinely cannot distinguish between reality and imagination. You might be having a full-blown conversation with someone who isn't there, walking into walls, or trying to explain quantum physics to a lamppost. Users typically experience profound confusion, extreme disorientation, and complete memory loss. They might try to talk to inanimate objects, run into traffic, or act violently based on utterly delusional beliefs. And the kicker? Most users have little to no memory of the terrifying ordeal once the drug wears off. Imagine living through a nightmare that lasts for days, but you can't even learn from it because you won't remember it happened. On top of the mental chaos, Datura inflicts a brutal physical toll known as anticholinergic syndrome. Your mouth and skin become dry as a bone. Your pupils dilate to the point of extreme light sensitivity, leaving you blind as a bat. Your heart races dangerously, risking arrhythmias and heart attacks. Your body temperature soars, often exceeding 106 degrees Fahrenheit. You can experience urinary retention, muscle spasms, convulsions, and even respiratory depression or failure. Number 2, Pyros. Short for pyrrolidinophenones are pretty much crack on crack. If you recall the bath salts epidemic from about a decade ago,
You left your money back.
well, Pyros are to blame. They are pretty well known in the fringe drug community as being the most addictive class of chemicals on Earth. When I say most addictive, I'm talking about 20 times more addictive than crack, potentially even 50 times more. These drugs are absolutely insane, and they don't even hold a candle to the mainstream drugs known for their addictiveness. With commonly known drugs, most people actively decide to stop using it before their supply runs out. This is definitely not the case with this stuff. Barely anyone in recorded history has started using a supply of Pyros and just stopped halfway through out of sheer willpower. In most stories on the internet, people who start a stash of Pyros only end their days-long bender because they became full-blown psychotic and ended up in a psych ward, or if they're lucky, started seeing shadow people early on and got scared enough to flush the rest of their supply down the toilet. But this stuff is so addictive that I'm convinced somebody has flushed their stash down the toilet and then immediately gone sewer diving afterwards on a quest to find their precious, like Gollum in Lord of the Rings. Because of this, even the most seasoned drug users won't take this stuff because the compulsion to take more is practically impossible to overcome. The most diabolical aspect of Pyros is that they make you extremely horny.
I'm about to come up.
I'm not joking, like a 64-hour edge session with no break or sleep until you literally pass out from exhaustion or get submitted to urgent care. They say that meth can turn you into a gooning degenerate, but this stuff is like meth times 5. To make matters even worse, somewhere along the way, armchair chemists on the internet somehow figured out how to conveniently turn this compound into vape juice, which pretty much makes this invention the world's worst jewel. So the next time your mom gets mad at you for your vaping addiction, feel free to remind her that there's some 45-year-old dude with scraggly hair in his basement, vaping super crack and jorking it for 10 days straight. The amount of gooning behavior Pyros cause would literally make your average Discord moderator look like a Buddhist monk. Long story short, outside of their extremely addictive qualities, these drugs are well known for turning you into a D1 gooner, like legitimately the Michael Jordan of gooning. Trust me when I say Pyros are one diabolical class of drugs. Number 5, Flakka, also known as alpha PvP or the zombie drug, is a seriously deadly synthetic stimulant. It triggers surges of both dopamine and norepinephrine in the body simultaneously. This combination can cause aggression, paranoia, anxiety, hallucinations, agitation, psychosis, and more. And physically, it can cause organ damage or failure and heart attacks. I don't even know if this is real, but based off some of the videos I've seen of people on this drug, I would believe it. I guess some people call this drug $5 insanity, which is looking accurate because this drug is extremely cheap, at least relatively compared to other drugs, especially due to its potency, and it literally turns you into a zombie, hence the zombie drug name I mentioned earlier. Like some other street drugs, Flakka is known to produce superhuman strength, which is something you've probably heard about in terms like meth head strength or crackhead agility, which is extra crazy because not only are you out of your mind, but you're also a superhuman on this drug. And one of the reasons why it's so dangerous is because it's 10 times more potent than cocaine and 20 times more potent than MDPV, which is one of the primary ingredients in bath salts. Speaking of bath salts, this drug is a synthetic cathinone, which is a chemical that is chemically related to Pyros. The overdose risk on this drug is extremely high because, as we stated previously, the potency is extremely high, but it also enters your bloodstream extremely fast, meaning that if you take too much, the only way you'll really know is by passing out and hopefully waking up at some point to realize you took too much. The entire experience on this drug lasts anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, but the side effects and come down last for days. This isn't quite a trip report, but it's one of my favorite stories relating to this drug. A man in Florida, of all places, I know, shocker, was high on Flakka walking down the street when he found a particularly attractive tree and attempted to have with it. Understandably, the police were called on this aggressive man, this innocent tree, and shortly enough the police arrived. Obviously, because he was high on Flakka, he was extremely aggressive and was not responding or cooperating with the police at all. And this led the police to tase him. 2 different officers tased this man, and as he was tased, he didn't fall, he didn't even budge. He simply pulled the taser barbs out of his skin and yelled, "I am Thor!" And it turns out that he actually wasn't Thor. He was just a Florida man high on Flakka. I just hope that tree is okay. And that's the end of our dive into some mind-boggling substances. If this hooked you, you're in the right place. There's a whole world of unbelievable, obscure, and sometimes terrifying topics waiting for us to explore on this channel. Want to keep going down this rabbit hole? Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Trust me, we've got more wild stuff to uncover. See you in the next one.